Morning all, and welcome all newcomers and those that have been watching me from the start of my journey. Today I want to talk about the Model 3 Tesla and what I think as a Kona Electric owner of the Model 3 Tesla, and the pricing especially, because that's what's being talked about, isn't it? There's lots over social media all about the price. Is it too expensive? Is it not? Are people going to be ordering it? Are people cancelling? All those sort of things. There's lots of reviews coming out. I don't want this video to be a review of the Model 3 because, to be honest, I haven't researched it in great detail. So I'm not an expert on Teslas, and this isn't the sort of video to cover the exact details. I want to talk about how it feels as a Kona Electric owner that another new electric car has been launched, and how does that make me feel? Does it make me want the Model 3 Tesla, or does it not? Well, there's an interesting part to being an EV owner, that you've spent a lot of money. It's probably more than you've spent before because electric cars are expensive. But every time a new one comes out, you're starting to think, is that new car going to take over? Is it going to be at a price point that makes your car worth less? Have you made the right decision buying the car that you've got? And yeah, I'll confess, every time a new car comes out, I am comparing to the decision I made to buy the Kona Electric, and have I bought the right car? I've decided that I thought it was going to be too expensive, so I didn't want to order one. Now it's come out and it's £38,500, and the list price of the Kona Electric I'm sat in right now is £38,500. It makes you feel slightly different. It does make you think, well, would I swap this car for a Model 3 Tesla, the Standard Plus, the entry level with the lower range and the lower specification? Would I actually do a swap? And the answer is yes. Yes, I would swap my car right now for a brand new Model 3 Tesla, but it's not because I'd want the Tesla more. It's because it would be a financially good decision to do, to let go of a 7-month-old car and have a brand new one. I mean, who doesn't like a brand new car? And it's a Tesla. It'd be lots of fun to drive and test, so I would really enjoy that. So I would swap it, but it's not because I think the Tesla's a better car. It is a financial decision. So if I start to put hypothetical arguments into my mind and say, well, what if I was to sell my Kona Electric, the premium SE that I'm sat in right now? What if I sell it for £30,000? That's pretty cheap to my mind. Yeah, £30,000 is a lot of money for a car. It's a lot of money for an electric car. But for this car, I think that's a little bit cheap because they are holding the money really well. But if I did, and then bought the Model 3 Tesla, so list price is about £42,000 for the car, so deduct off the UK grant of £3,500, gets you down to £38,500 roughly, including fees and etc. But no options on that at all. So would I do it? I probably wouldn't go for the base colour. I'd probably have to upgrade and get the expensive red or blue. I do like those. Sorry, it's just a cat wandering across a car park about to go under a car. Not a good thing to do. Anyway, would I do it? So the answer is no. No, I would not spend £8,500 more to get a Model 3 Tesla, because £8,500, well, that could get me in. Well, it couldn't get me in any other electric car, I suppose, apart from a really old one or at least battery Zoe. But I would rather spend more than the £8,500 and have a second car. I must admit, you know, if another Kona popped up, say the acid yellow that Susan really likes, if one of those popped up and it's sub £30,000, I'd be tempted to buy that and have two. So it's not just about the money, it's about whether you have a sense of value. And to me, spending £8,500 more to have just one car doesn't make sense to me, especially when Susan wouldn't like it. Now, why wouldn't Susan like a Model 3 Tesla? Well, firstly, it's because she likes the traditional thing. She likes to get in a car and just drive it and get used to it in a normal, traditional way. So having so much functionality on the tablet, for her, she's not a technophobe, but she's not as comfortable with technology as I am. So I would adjust faster to it than she would. So I don't think it's a good car for her. The boot rather than hatch, well, that's not good for Cracker either. Poor Cracker. He'd have to be seat belted and strapped down on the back seats, and that's not as nice for him. So the Model 3 is nice for me, but not nice for the rest of the family. So for £8,500 extra, no, I would not buy one. What do I think about the pricing then? The thing that I'm hearing on social media are people saying, what a shame that they haven't just found that way of getting the price sub £40,000 as the HUD retracts in the Kona. And it is, yes, it is a shame, but I think it's deliberate. Pricing is very, very deliberate for car manufacturers. They don't just make it up. They make a very good decision. So, yes, as owners, we would like the price to be cheaper, but as a company, they need to make profit and want to make profit. So their import company, Tesla UK, will be looking at the market in the UK and what the price of other vehicles are and where they want their car to fit in. Well, the Tesla Model 3 is a premium car. It will compete against the I-Pace, the e-tron, BMWs. It will compete against premium models. I don't think it's meant to compete against the Kona Electric and the e-Niro. So at the moment, the Leaf, the Niro and the Kona occupy the £30,000 to £40,000 range of cars. The Soul will come in that area somewhat, maybe close to the 30,000 mark, and the Ioniq is, the 30,000-ish. But the 40,000 is these long-range Korean cars and Japanese car. And no doubt Volkswagen will have a car that fits in that bracket as well. But the going over £40,000 for a luxury item, that who gives a damn about the vehicle excise duty and the luxury tax? I just want the nice plush car, like the I-Pace. There's a huge gap from 40 to 60, 65, 70,000 pounds. If we say the average I-Pace is 65 to 75,000 pounds, that's a huge gap in the market from 40,000 up to that level. The Model 3 Tesla fits in there absolutely perfectly, and it's probably a big enough market for Tesla to want to sell their cars into that segment. Because what we're talking about, as with all other electric car manufacturers, is how many cars do they want to make, and how many cars have the UK agreed to import. Now, if they've got their numbers right, what they could do is produce enough and import enough to sell them all in that 40 to 70,000 pound segment, and hopefully the vast majority will be the long range and the high performance, because they're more profitable. And here's an example of the profitability. You know there's a really big price jump from the Standard Plus up to the long range. Well, how much extra miles does the long range give you? Is it, again, I'm talking off the top of my head, I haven't researched this is completely ad-libbing. I would say it's 250-ish miles on the Standard Plus, going up to 340, 345 on the long range. If that's true, that's just sub 100 mile difference of range, and the price differential at 12,000–15,000 pounds difference for the different specification and the longer range battery. Well, in the Kona Electric, when that came out, and the premium model you could buy in 39 kilowatt hour or 64 kilowatt hour, the difference in range for that was about 100 miles. The difference in price for that, same specification but just battery difference, was £3,500. So to me, the long range Tesla Model 3 is priced proportionately higher than the Standard Plus. The Standard Plus is a bargain, if you look at it from those terms, because it's a big price differential to get the long range, where with the Hyundai it wasn't a big price differential. What I'm basically saying is I don't think Tesla will want to sell many Standard Pluses. So if they don't want to sell many because they want to sell more long range and performance, then it's important for them not to saturate the market with the Standard Plus. And the way to do that would be to launch one at 37,500, 38,500 pounds list price. Get it under the 40,000, and then the people that were buying the Niros and the Konas would be upgrading, and there'd be a mass of them changing because it would make financial sense to do so, and you're getting what is considered a more premium car. So that's my thought anyway. I think it's deliberate. I think they're going after the luxury segment. They're keeping the Tesla brand as a premium brand. They're not trying to compete, and because they're not trying to compete, they're having to price above the segment where the Kona and the e-Niro is. And they can afford to do it because they will sell them, they will sell enough, and they are more profitable. So this is all about profits. Car manufacturers will go bust if they don't sell enough cars at enough profit. So why sell more of one that doesn't make a profit very much versus model of car that does make a bigger profit? You need to maximize profits. And although Elon Musk clearly has a different agenda to most car manufacturers, because he's doing things for the right reason, for the environment and for our future, you've got to be profitable to be able to do it. So I'm sure this is what it's about. It's not about looking after its customers. It's not about pleasing us by producing a sub £40,000 Model 3 Tesla. I'm sure some people out there really thought $35,000, that equates to sub £30,000 UK price. They just were unrealistic thinking they could get a £30,000 Model 3 Tesla. So there's my thought. I will not be changing my Kona for a Model 3 Tesla unless somebody offers to swap me directly for it, because to me it's not worth it. I'm not getting enough difference to have it. I'm not that in love with the brand and the beauty of the car. Yes, it is a beautiful looking car, I will grant you that, but I'll equally confess I've got used to this higher crossover SUV type car. Am I getting old that I'm enjoying a taller car? But I am enjoying this more comfortable ride. On cars I've had before, they were all lower down, sporty, firmer ride, more like the Model 3 Tesla, and I really enjoyed driving them as a good driver's car. But now, do you know, I'm enjoying the comfort and the relaxation and the smoothness and the visibility and all the other things that come with this crossover style of car, which surprises me because I used to moan at them. I used to moan saying, why on earth would someone pay more for a crossover SUV than a hatchback, because a hatchback's just as practical. But here I am saying, actually, I do quite like this style of car. We're definitely seeing, as more cars are released, more electric cars are released, that prices are not coming down. I've been saying it for quite a few times in a few videos. I do not believe just because battery prices, wholesale let's say, seem to be coming down, car prices, electric car prices, will be coming down. More and more people are buying more and more expensive cars, and they can do that because of cheap finance predominantly. Prices are going up. Car manufacturers are struggling to make a profit. They're having to change lots of things, invest in new technologies. They need more profit. So it makes no sense to me to say that the price of cars are going to come down. They're going to try and maximize it as much as possible. The way we'll get into cheap, affordable electric cars for everyone are very, very small and very, very basic cars, or the Chinese brands will make a huge difference. That's my thought anyway. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing as always, and take care for now, and see you again soon. Bye bye.